Hello and welcome back to Auto Social UK. Now this is the latest release from Toyota and it's a crossover version of the Toyota Yaris called the Yaris Cross, of course. Now when I first drove the Toyota Yaris, I thought that was a fantastic little car. It was really stylish and it offered a really good mile per gallon. But have they ruined it by making it a crossover? Well, hopefully that's what we're going to find out in today's video. So first of all, let's take a look at the styling of the Yaris Cross. It's longer and wider than the standard Toyota Yaris hatchback it's based on. In fact, it's roughly the same size as the rival Nissan Duke, and like that car, offers the sort of raised driving position that's important to many potential SUV buyers. There's a good spread of trim levels called Icon, Design, Excel, Dynamic and Premier Edition. Even Icon is reasonably desirable, with 16-inch alloy wheels, automatic lights, keyless entry and a rear-view camera. The 8-inch infotainment screen is also standard. Design also adds a 7-inch digital dial cluster, 17-inch wheels, LED exterior lighting, privacy glass and black roof lining. Dynamic adds more of a sporting look, with a different design of dark grey alloy wheels, a contrasting black roof and door mirrors, and black synthetic leather upholstery. Meanwhile, sitting at the top of the lineup is Premier Edition, with a JBL 8-speaker premium stereo system, 10-inch colour head-up display and black leather seats. Now, strangely enough, I'm actually wearing the same jacket as when I reviewed the Toyota Yaris, but the Yaris Cross is definitely wearing a different colour. Now, this is the Yaris finished in this gold paint, which isn't going to be for everybody's taste. But actually, I think with the contrasting wind mirrors and the contrasting roof, it actually looks pretty good. And I also really love this little kick plate down here, which says Yaris Cross. I just think it's a little detail that looks really nice. Now, overall, I don't think this is as good looking as the standard car, but then crossovers rarely are as good as their hatchback counterparts. Take things like the Volkswagen T-Cross, for instance. But then again, the kind of crossovers tend to be more about fun. They're supposed to look fun and be fun to drive and not take them too seriously. They're not performance cars. They don't claim to be performance cars and they don't claim to look like performance cars. So actually, I do think the little crossover is quite sweet. Despite being closely related to the big selling small car, the Yaris Cross feels grown up thanks to the high seating position and roomy cabin. In fact, it feels like a car from the market sector above. It's 240mm longer than the Yaris hatchback, which allows more room inside. There's plenty of space up front and in the rear, with a pair of tall back seat passengers being able to make themselves comfortable without too much difficulty. The hybrid battery pack is situated under the rear seats, and while the raised roofline means headroom isn't too bad for backseat passengers, legroom is a bit tight for adults. It's likely to be fine for shorter trips, but rivals like the Renault Captur and Skoda Kamiaq offer more space, and a few competitors even have a sliding rear bench. There are two different sizes of infotainment systems available on the Yaris Cross. Entry-level Icon and Design models come with an 8-inch touchscreen with built-in navigation, DAB radio and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. Move up to the pricier XL, Dynamic and Premier editions and you'll get a larger 9-inch touchscreen, as well as wireless connection for those smartphone mirroring programs. Everything else in the interior is laid out in a sensible way, and you get physical controls for the standard climate control, making it a doddle to operate on the move. Everything feels sturdily screwed together, but the interior lacks the upmarket feel that you get in some rivals like the Nissan Duke and let alone the Mini Countryman. Around the back, I'm really happy to see that it's stuck with this light bar that you get on the standard Yaris. That's one of my favourite things. Especially at night, this really looks quite impressive. Boot space is pretty good, matching the Kamiaq's capacity of 400 litres. In real-world terms, that means that you should be enough to swallow 7 carry-on size suitcases, a buggy or a weekly family shop. To make loading larger items easier, the Yaris Cross comes with a handy 2-piece height adjustable boot floor that helps reduce the loading lip. In fact, when it's in its highest setting, there's virtually no lip at all. The Yaris is only available in a single 1.5 litre, 3-cylinder petrol-electric hybrid powertrain, paired with an automatic CVT transmission. 4-wheel drive has also recently been added to the lineup. You'll never need to plug in the Yaris Cross because its small battery charges each time the car brakes, or by using the petrol engine as a small generator. Toyota has been a world leader for hybrids, and the system now works better than ever. It's easy to drive in EV mode at speeds up to 30 miles per hour for short distances. So something that really shocked me when I drove the first Toyota Yaris was just how fantastic this little 1.5 mild hybrid engine is. So there isn't any plug-in, it's not a car that you have to add electric to, it's just a mild hybrid, so it gains its electric through your braking. But this little 1.5 engine is really sweet, it's nippy enough, and the best thing about it, you get a fantastic mile per gallon figure. Now I feel like a lot of the time we focus on our plug-in hybrids, our electric cars, and we forget that a lot of people don't want a plug-in, don't want something they have to plug in. They just want a standard petrol engine. And I think that's where Toyota have hit the sweet spot with this car, because you can see 50, 60, 70 miles per gallon out of an electric crossover, and I think that's fantastic. The majority of models in the Yaris Cross range are front-wheel drive, but the higher trims, Dynamic and Premier Edition, are four-wheel drive. That's rare in a small SUV category. Toyota get 113 brake horsepower out of that 1.5 litre engine, which is actually pretty impressive for a car of this size. Most crosses tend to have around 90-100 brake horsepower like the Volkswagen T-Cross. However, this car has more power similar to something a little bit bigger like the Volkswagen T-Roc. Performance isn't especially brisk. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes 11.2 seconds. And because of that mild electrification, this car is really nippy at low speeds, and it's brilliant for just whizzing around town. At low speeds, the Yaris will use just the electric motor to run the car, and at this point it's really quiet and silent. However, put your foot down and that petrol engine does kick in and it becomes much louder. It's not loud, but it's not a particularly nice sounding engine. But then again, nobody other than the GR Yaris has ever wanted a Yaris with a great sounding engine, so I don't really see it being a problem. Noticeably, the Yaris crossover does feel a little bit bumpier than the standard Yaris. It hasn't got such a low centre of gravity, so it doesn't handle the corners quite so well. That's not to say that it's not too bad for everyday use. In fact, kind of just poodling around town, it's got more than enough power and it's nice and agile. However, when you start tackling those B roads, it does lose some of that feel. You get a good level of safety and assistant features across the range. Adaptive cruise control is standard, which is impressive. So is autonomous emergency braking and lane keeping assist. However, blind spot monitoring is an option. Prices start from around £22,500 for the entry-level Toyota Yaris Cross Icon, but most buyers are expected to stretch to the Yaris Cross design. This retails from around £24,000. That's more than some key rivals, but the impressive running costs mean that it's sure to even out over time. If you're looking for a great leasing deal on the Toyota Yaris Cross, then be sure to check out Lease Loco. They're the UK's biggest lease comparison website, and currently they have some strong offers on the Yaris Cross. You can play around with the options to get the perfect deal for you. Stock can also be hard to come by at the moment, but they have some physical stock ready to go, but you'll have to snap it up quick. I'll pop the link in the description box. This isn't sponsored, but it is an affiliate link. Short and sweet, just like the little Toyota Yaris Cross. I don't know, what do you think about it? I have a feeling this is going to split opinions. Some people will think this is quite a sweet little car, and I just know that some of you out there are going to dislike it. If you have enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, bye!